So, what happens when you fall under contract? When you fall under contract, we have to deposit the earnest money with the title company. You can select the title company or we can select it for you. Typically, we select our title company based on the type of communication the title company offers. So when we ask for something from an escrow officer, if they provide it to us in a timely fashion and they communicate with us and answer all of our questions, we tend to use them every single time. But this is your right to select the title and escrow. Sometimes the seller makes you use their own title and escrow because they open up an early bird. So basically, they pull up all of the liens or see all of the requirements that are needed to close escrow. And sometimes when a trust is involved, it's better to utilize the seller specified title company, and sometimes they also have a discount, which might make the seller a little bit more negotiable. Um, so, with that said, what you would deposit, for example, is the amount of earnest money that you have specified. Typically, if you don't have personal checks, we ask for a wire transfer. So, you will deposit it to the escrow officer specified right here, and I can give you instructions for that. So, with that said, after that, once your contract is accepted, we go into a period that is basically our inspection period. We call this the due diligence period. We review all of the disclosures that the seller provides, like the seller disclosure, property statement, the insurance claims history, and all of the other disclosures that have been provided. Um, and then we also start doing our due diligence. This is when we hire inspectors to conduct all of the home inspections and to grab any estimates of anything of the work that you think might be required. So like for example, if the home inspector says that the AC does not actually function, here is when we would grab an estimate so that we can ask the seller, is like, hey, Mr. Seller, can you please fix this? And if they don't want to fix it, you have the option to actually walk away with your earnest money. At this point in time is when we would investigate square footage, if there was any additions that required permits, if there's any termite in the property or wood destroying organisms, if there's a flood hazard, and what type of insurance we're going to be able to select. Typically, if sewer is involved, we select line 242 unless there is a septic system or anything else. If there's a septic system, obviously we conduct an investigation for that too. Not all homes have swimming pools, but we give you a couple of advisories for swimming pool regulations, and there's a couple of indemnifications for the broker because we are not inspectors. We cannot conduct the inspection for you. Although we do provide a lot of referrals and we try to organize everything for you so that you don't have to do it. It is ultimately your responsibility. So if you select an inspector that didn't do the perfect job, it is not our responsibility. It's actually something that you should be doing yourself. So basically on paragraph 6H, you are saying that you acknowledge that we are not qualified nor licensed to do the due diligence for you. With that said, you have several options. You can Google home inspectors and find your own, do the reviews and all of that. With that said, you can hire your own AC inspector or your own electrician or your whatever you want to do. This is the period when you would do that. Again, we try to help you out as much as possible. However, there are sometimes some agents that don't touch any of this at all based on the liability. It is my practice to at least provide you referrals to the home inspector to attend the home inspection, to also ask for estimates if you want me to do that for you. But again, this is your responsibility. So if anything goes, off, or the inspection was off a little bit, most people want to blame the realtor, but this is a really big paragraph that says, that you're indemnifying the broker. Anyways, once this period is over, so you're going to have 10 days unless you specify that you want a couple more days after the contract acceptance. Most people that live out of town sometimes do that. Other people just leave it at 10 days. So once you have decided what you like, what you don't like, what you approve and what you don't approve, and once you know what you want to ask the seller to do, we will give them a form that is called the buyer inspection notice and the seller's response, and we will ask them to basically fix or negotiate or to credit you for the repairs. So this is the period that we're going into once your contract has been accepted. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.